Hi there. This is at the.meri.atelier, and this is a project stream, which means that I am streaming unlisted. I will review it and come back, and if I like it, I will make it go public. I'm going to do some more sketching. I'm going to resketch Elizabeth II. I got some hints from Annie V. So I'm going to try to resketch her. I shouldn't say I always do better on the second sketch, but I have a little bit more of a chance to study it a little bit more. And well, let's just sketch it again and see what happens. And I think I'll add some of my watercolor to it. I was going to do this on the first one, and I did not remember to. So put those over there. But first, I want to talk about this book that I checked out at the library. I just started reading it today. To the Stars Through Difficulties. Yes, this is a book that really interested me. It's got the little barcode over it, but it's talking about no-guilt quilters join forces to build a cultural center on the plains. Led by Angelina, Tracy, and Gail, who tell the story and inspired by their foremothers who built the 59 Carnegie libraries in a Kansas town a century ago. Oh, in Kansas a century ago. I'm going, why would they have 59 libraries in a Kansas town? But they built 59 Carnegie libraries in Kansas a century ago. The women forged ahead to create a space that is both safe and inspiring. And I was particularly interested in the chapter on Tracy because she was a homeless child who was neglected and abandoned, and they found her in an alley when she was a baby, and she was later adopted, but she became a recycle artist. And she had a show in New York City, and the sponsor of the gallery called her Trashionista. So she was very much into our recycled mixed media that we love doing here. So, and then this is all about the Carnegie libraries in Kansas. Very interesting. Angelina is a lady in the book, in the fiction, in the novel, who is working on her PhD dissertation, and she wants to write it on the Carnegie libraries, and she's in search of her grandmother's diary. So it'll be very interesting. I just started reading this. I just pulled it out off of the shelf in the library because a lot of books I don't enjoy reading because, you know, even the mystery novels, they've got the killing, and then they got all the sex. You know, you got to have all that, and then have paragraphs and paragraphs. I do love adjectives, but a lot of the novels, if you happen to read them, there's a lot of describing things. You know, it's just kind of repetitive from book to book and book, and then you don't find out. I told my brother, I said, the only reason I finished that other novel is that I wanted to find out who killed Abby. Well, it turned out nobody killed Abby. She fell off of a horse in a snowstorm into a river in the mountains and wasn't found till spring. But that, you know, I don't enjoy those type of books. I enjoy them once or twice, and then they get old. But this is sort of like a historical novel. I love historical novels. And I love anything that relates to art and what we are doing as an art community here on YouTube, and this certainly does. And this talks all about libraries, and I love my local libraries. So I will not have trouble finishing this book, To the Stars Through Difficulties, which, by the way, I learned in this last chapter of this book that is the Kansas state motto. To the Stars Through Difficulties. How cool. So I'm going to write that down. So that's my little book review. I do try to read at least 2 or 3 books a month. Sometimes I get involved in other things and I don't get all my reading done, but I tend toward the historical novels more than anything. So there's that. Let me set that aside. The other thing I wanted to do, did you see the little stamp that I carved this morning, the little peg stamp? The glue is dry, pretty dry on here. It probably hasn't cured, but it's dry enough to use. And I got inspired to do this by Amy at aljohn, and I will put a link down below to her peg stamp video. I do have it out on my community tab too, if you're interested. But she took little wooden pieces that she got in a game at the dollar store and glued them together. We stopped at Menards Friday night when we were going to that bingo game. And I asked my brother if we could stop and get some wooden dowels. So we stopped at Menards and he cut them into 2-inch pieces so I can have peg stamps. I think I got about 24 of them. And I was thinking I could put a stamp on, I might have to sand a little of this off, but I could put a stamp on this side too and stamp this way or stamp this way. But I thought I stamped it off on a little sheet of paper. Here's what I did this morning in my impromptu stream. This came out of the Needlecraft magazine. And then I did a page of, let me get to them here, a page of ATCs this morning, and from Fussy Cuts that Elise sent to me. I was reviewing my video, and I think at one point in here, I said Beth Schuler sent them to me. I get you all mixed up, but I actually did write Elise's name here. So I have it right on the page. So I did that, and then the other page that I did this morning is over here, and I did this page of ladies out of the Needlecraft magazine. This paper is very brittle. It's very brittle. Magazine is 1933, February of 1933. And look, I need to put a little glue on that. Let's see if I can do that now. And probably in here, maybe. Let's see if I can attach this. The glue, when I glue this, it's really kind of hard to glue it because this part gets really wet, and that's how this got torn. As I'm swiping the glue, this paper is so brittle it can virtually tear apart or melt in my fingers. I was having trouble with it. I get glue on my finger here, and then I touch a part of the page, and it would literally pick that paper up and glue to my finger. So, but that was fun to do. I've got some more of these ladies. I think it was Susan Gerald who said I could make tags, but I might put them in here. I love the red background here. I love this. And this is actually background of the paper here, but she actually has a red dress, and her dress here is kind of a pink color. But what I wanted to do, see, here's where I stamped those little girls. I wanted to do some more stamping in here with those little girls. I don't know if I want to do it on the same page, though. Let's pick a page. Let's pick a page. Let's pick a page. That's watercolor. How about this page? Yeah. And let's just do some stamping. That's my red ink. I have one more envelope that I need to doodle from last Thursday night's doodle stream. So I have that to do. I'm not going to do it here. It does not take long when I'm just sitting alone. It does not take long at all. I'm going to and I think I'm going to call this series of stamps that I'm doing like this, Let's zoom in a little. Let me zoom in so you can actually see her better. And I'll just pull my book down maybe. There. Okay, she's right here. And actually, I got a little piece up here that I'm calling a bird. It barely shows. On some, I don't think maybe if I stamp it more there. There. No, I must have nicked that somehow. But it's like she's holding a little bird. I think I will carve a set of these and call them silhouettes and call them my little people. She actually looks like a string of paper dolls, doesn't it? You could do, ooh, now I'm getting inspired. Now I'm getting inspired right here. Let's do that. Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? I'm gonna have fun with these little peg stamps. What a cool idea, Amy. Amy at aljohn. But before I move on, let's grab a piece of paper here. I'll have to, you might hear my chair squeaking. I can even just grab this piece that I'm using for marker paper. And let's cut it in half. Let's play. Let's play paper doll. Let's cut this in half. And let's tape these two ends together. Yeah. Tape them together like this. Let's play paper doll. Let's use some tape here. Because I don't know how this is going to turn out. Let's see. There. Come on. Yeah, I got it a little long here. Let's fold that under. Come on. And then I did watch a little of Dee Dee. I watched Dee Dee's, I got in on some of her book reviews. I love to watch Dee Dee's book reviews. And then I had to go do some things. And then I watched Janet Young earlier today. And got in on her. She did a flip of her fib sketch-a-days. That's what and then she started the scavenger hunt and I had to move on. So, okay, I'm just going to fold this accordion fold. You've done this before, haven't you? I'm sure you have. Make a string of paper dolls. I might have to cut them in half after all, but we will do it. This is a very common thing that's done, but you kind of want to keep your folds together here. Otherwise, you'll have see, I'm just having fun. I'm just having fun. I will admit I do a lot of art streams. This is going to be a longer stream. I think I can cut it with my Tim Holtz scissors. That maybe need to be folded differently. You should fold it like this, Meri, is what you should do. You can see better. Okay, we'll just cut this end off. And let's just do for fun here. Let's just make them like this. And let's make this like this. Now this is a little short, so I'm going to cut this end off because that's just the end of it. Let's just trim it. All right. Let's throw these away. And I'm actually going to draw it out here because I'm inspired. But what you want is the hands to be connected across here. So you want a fairly large hand there and maybe a hand fairly large so that it'll get all of them. And let's see if I can do the little bird. We'll just draw it like that. And then her hand comes down. Keep it simple if I can. Make her little neck. And her hand going up like that. And then she has, we're just going to kind of make her head like this. And then she's got a little skirt. Like that, and 2 little feet. Now this, of course, will all be, those curves probably won't even show. That's okay. I'm going to get out my Tim Holtz scissors because I think they'll cut through this better. Now, we could make it connect here, too. That would might be better. Let's make it connect at the skirt line, too. Caught that. I caught it. The first one would be kind of a boo-boo, but maybe we can turn it inside out. And cut this. Have you ever cut paper dolls like this? Yeah. Cut like that. You just never grow old. You don't grow old. This is what's fun to do. We did this when we were kids. Yes, we did. I'm still doing it today. If I can get that little birdie in there. Come on, little head. Yeah. And the birdie's going to be hard to do. We'll get it in there. Give him a tail. There. Cut out the hand here. Oh, I know you guys are going, oh, we used to do this when we were kids. Oh, I cut way down. Let's give her dress a different style here. Cut out her little feet. And if it all falls apart, if I didn't fold it right, I'll just glue it down as a cloche. But I think it'll be okay. I think I did it right. There's quite a bit to cut through. That's why I went to my Tim Holtz scissors here. Come on. Let's trim this up a little. Alrighty, let's see what I have. Oh, I'm loving them. I'm loving them. Here. We need it over a colored portion. Oh, they're too cute. Get the scrappies off. They're too cute. This way. Got a whole string of them because I glued those pages to get, well, not, aw, the little birds are kissing. These little birds are kissing. I could make those a little bit. Let's see if I can't just trim that off a little. Let's move my book, move my paper because you can see them on here. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? I want to make a little, I want to make those birds like they're kissing. So that means I want to trim it, but not too much. I think that might have done it. Let's see what I have. Let's get my scrappies off the page here. Paper, they're bothering me. Okie dokie. Aw. Aw, they're cute. A little string of paper dolls. Let's see what I can move my camera over a little here. Did I move it the wrong way? I'm still learning this camera. There. Aw, paper dolls. You never grow too old for paper dolls. I'm going to put them in my journal. Let's just go ahead and do that just for the fun of it. Where did I stamp them? Right here. Let's put them right in here. What way? I think I'll cut them in half here. Let's do the paint scrape. Shall we stick with red for February? I'm just playing anyway. I'm in an unlisted stream, so I have all the time in the world to talk and do what I want. Ew. I think it was Kimberly said there's just something. This morning I was doing this paint scrape with the credit card or my AARP please join us card. I like them because they're plastic. But I think it was Kim that was watching and she said there's just something very therapeutic about scraping paint on a page. And how true that is. I need just a little bit more. I have to say, though, I got to use this paint. It's starting to stinky poo. And that means it's getting old. I think. I don't think the newer paint smells as bad, but when your craft paint starts getting that, I don't know, it's kind of a dead chalky smell. It's the only way I can describe it. Then it's getting a little old. There. Now let me dry this. Oops, that was my ruler. That's the other thing I want to do is take my old shoe and make my heat gun holder. That was a suggestion in one of my live streams. What a great idea that was. What a great idea. It doesn't take long for this paint to dry good because it's spread on there really thin. Yay! Little paper doll inspirations. There we go. It's all dry. Squeaky chair. I'm going to get out the cooking oil and oil up my chair. Now, I think I can get two sets and I'll have one left over. So let's snip here and snip here. We'll put those up there and these down here. And I'll have this one left over that I'll just keep for, let's turn this one over. I think there'll be less there. Now let's go ahead and let's glue them down. Let's glue them down. Where's my glue stick? Now this is copy paper. I shouldn't have as much trouble putting glue on these. You probably can't see what I'm doing. Let's zoom out one more here because we're done with the... There we go. You can see what I'm doing. It's cold out today. It snowed a little last night, just to kind of, probably not even 1/10 of an inch. It got the ground white. More frost, I think, than snow. But brr, it's cold out. I took out the trash. Well, I took out some trash today. My brother took out the big trash yesterday, but ew. I had some things that needed to be tossed, and I pushed the trash out to this curb, and it was cold out. Come on. I'm not going to tear you off. She's kind of glued to the paper there. And let's just start over here just for fun. I should do little valentines. But they're holding birds. They're holding little birds, little lovebirds here. Let me get them glued down. Come on, little birds. They are. Kind of got more glue on me than anything else here. And let's do this. I'm going to fold this in half so that I don't get it all sticky. And let's glue these down like this. Aww. Aww. My little people. I'll be doing little people stamps now when I get inspired. I want to, I think it was Journey who asked this morning if I ever did words, if I ever carved words. And I don't as a general rule because they come out looking clunky, but I might try the word. She wants the word vintage, and I might try it on one of those erasers for her. We will see, Journey, how that turns out. It might be clunky, and it might turn out nice. Who knows? If I take my time with it. Yeah. I'm trying to get my glue on here. Come on, little girls. Don't be stubborn. There. Let me pull this up. Aw. Move them almost off the page there. this one needs a little more glue. Yeah, I can put glue down there on her. And on her head. Come on. Come on, give me your head. I'll be gluing these down 3 weeks from now. Shouldn't have to, but you know how that goes. I have a large Xyron in storage. Everything I have is in storage. A sticker maker, one that'll hold a 9-inch sheet. There we go. How fun was that? That was just a little fun thing that I didn't plan. So what I plan to do today, let's put this. Oh, the other thing I'm doing is I'm putting my list, my morning list. Where are they? Are they over here? I'm putting my morning list in one of these doodle envelope flaps. Let's just put her right here. She belongs there, doesn't she? After I put that wax paper in. Let's get it out again. We can't waste her. We can't waste her, I think. I don't know which is the back and which is the front. I think this is the back. Yeah. Let's just... Ew. You would think with all that glue that it would stay stuck down. All right, let's just put her right up in here. Might as well play. If you got an art journal, you might as well just play in it. All right, so what I wanted to do this afternoon, and at this point, you might say, Meri, we've seen this. But, however, and except, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Well, there's Alan. Wow. Here, Margaret Thatcher, or not Margaret Thatcher. She looks like Margaret Thatcher. Queen Elizabeth II. I'm going to resketch her. I'm going to resketch her. Yes, I am. Because I want to see if I can improve on her. Let's put these scissors away. And what I'm using, my little drawing box that we made out of this vintage cigar box. And gee, if you're watching, what a great idea that you gave me to scan these. And because I've been saying that at one point this box is the trim's going to fall off of it. She said to scan the trim and make a tape out of it. So I am going to do that. But this lid has warped in, and so the lid wants to fall down inside. Well, we put these little fabric tabs where I can just easily raise it up. I might even scan you know, some pieces like this to put here and here. So I want to get out my water-soluble graphite and my pencil sharpener and my pencils. And I've been using the lead number 2 just to get the start to it. And I use my water-soluble graphite sticks, and then I have some Faber-Castell water-soluble graphite pencils. But I do think that I want to use some of these watercolor brushes, or watercolor brushes by Hobby Lobby. So let's close up my journal, put that there, and get my camera out. And I think I'm right at her here. Let me turn it on. Yes. So it does not, my first sketch did not quite look like her. And I still have my water out here from yesterday. I haven't dumped it yet. So I have a little water. Now, let's move this. And what do we want to do first? Zoom in so you can see a little better. Yes, I got squeaky chair syndrome. We're going to fix that one of these days too. Yeah. That's probably the best as I can do here. That's too much of a, we want to be zoomed in. I'll have to maybe move my paper here. You can see most of it. And I might just zoom in while I'm working on the eyes so that you can see what I'm doing. But I'm going to work on her face a little more. Let's see if I can improve on her face. And I talked myself through it yesterday. And I was not unhappy with the face, but the shape of the head and her nose maybe. So we're going to work on that. Maybe I will zoom in a little bit more. You won't see the entire sheet of paper, but yeah. Let's zoom in. I'd rather have you see what I'm doing than see the entire sheet. So I'm going to talk about it the same way I did yesterday. Got a little glue on it here. Let's flip the page. I see her face as being wider. I think maybe what caused my face to be so wide yesterday is she is looking off over this way, but I may have not gotten enough shadow in here because this is the side of her face here. Her face, really, if she looked front on, you would probably just see that much. But since she's got her head looking that way, her head's angled off to her left, that you really see the side of her face in here. And on that other one, I may not have had that shaded enough because her hand gets in the way. And I'm not sketching her hand. So let's start out this time by working on her nose. Let's work on her nose first. And I've zoomed in as much as I can. So we're going to, and I think I'll go with my, instead of starting with my number 2, maybe I'll start with my water-soluble 2B. 4B, 2B. I think another reason why I didn't have a lot of shading on there is that I used my number 2, which is not my Ticonderoga, whatever it is, pencil. And that's not water-soluble. That's just a lead pencil. So let's start out in here. And I'm sketching this crease on her eyebrow right here. I'm just going to kind of shade it in. Now I want to concentrate on her nose first. So, and it's got some shading this way, and this, I don't want to get to drawing the eye too much, but I want the little corner of it here. And it kind of comes up, this crease kind of comes up this way. And this has got shading. And in here, shading, 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 shading. My brother's in there gagging. I tell him he's heard the world over. He doesn't care. Sometimes I think he does it to be ornery, but don't tell him that. All right, so there I'm shading in there. Now I think the shadow of her hand is here. I think the shadow of her hand is falling across her face because of this area. This dark shading here is angled. And I'm not sure why that would be on a regular nose because there's no bone in there. I think that her hand, I think the light source is coming from this direction, and I think her hand is causing a little shadow right in there. So I'm shading this area right in here. Here's the corner of her eye, so to speak, in there. And I'm shading this area, shading down in here. Now I got to do the nostril. Let's do the nostril. Let's zoom in more. See this area here where it's all white? I think that this shadow is caused by the shadow of her hand falling across her face, because that's the only way that I can explain this angled light right here. And I'm not sure I'm going to sketch that. But she's got a lot of shading around in here. Now, do I need to make her nose even longer? I tend to not want to. And I need to put an eraser, a kneaded eraser on my shopping list. Let's make her nose just a little longer. And there's a big wide area in here. It really does come down quite a bit of an angle down there. I almost feel like I'm angling it too much, but it kind of comes like that, a soft area in here. And we'll see how that works. I might have to come back to that. And then here's your cheekbone, shaded in here. Are you guys seeing it? Yeah, you are. And then there's natural shading underneath of her nose, just because her nose is a dimensional object. So this will be kind of naturally shaded underneath of her nose. And there's not a big, whatever it's called, that little indentation above the lip. You can kind of see it, but not too much. It's not really evident on this photo. Now, this was taken at her 92nd birthday party. I think she looks good for 92. I think she looks pretty good for 92. Now, and I'm just playing with this. I'm not saying that it seems like the more I sketch and the more I talk about it and the more I look at it, the better I get. Well, let's see. Let's kind of shade it in here a little. And this is a little darker. Now, I did like this morning where I put some water in the lid of my jar and I dipped my pencil in there. You're going to see me doing that a lot more because it gives me that dark, wet line. And now on her eyes, I pointed out how her eyes are not rounded at the top. Her eyelids come flat this way. And that may be a function of being 92. I think the eyelids are, I don't want to say they're droopy because they're not droopy, but they're a little bit more horizontal than what you would expect. And her eyelid actually comes out to this part of her eye out here. And then it angles down. And then it angles up again. It angles down this way. And let's just draw it a little darker. You can hardly see any white there. You see a little bit more white in here, but it's very, it's not a bright white. So I'm going to kind of put a little shading in there. And here's her eyeball in there. And there's no twinkle in her eye, but I might give her one, just a very hint of one, just for the fun of it. And then to draw the creases. Now, bear in mind, I'm not a portrait artist, and I don't intend to pretend to be one, but I do like to draw people. And I just keep doing it until I learn. This nostril needs to be a little bit softer here. A little bit softer. And then she's got some shadowing going on under here. And it kind of comes up this way. And there. Now, the shadows really do define the face. And I'm so afraid to get too much shadow on my page because I feel like I'm giving it a beard or something. But maybe that's where my watercolor can come in, right in here. Put some watercolor in here. And she's got this very pretty smile. Very pretty smile. Let's put some shadowing under here. Shadowing all under here. Got a little something on my page there. And her kind of comes into a crease there. Okay. How am I doing? What does it look like to you? Sorry about the squeaky chair. It's just going to have to squeak. I know, WD-40, cooking oil. I know all that. I just haven't gotten it down. Now her lips, because she's smiling, her lips are pretty thin. You know, her lips are not, you know, the puffy, you know what I'm talking about. Her lips are thin because she's smiling. She's got a nice wide smile. And then here's the bottom lip. I don't know if this is going to be any better, but we're giving it another college try here. Good old college try. Her lips are red, and then it's got a kind of a white line there, and then it starts the shadow again underneath of it. And of course, her lips here. Whoops. I lost it. Right in here. Shade this in. And I'm going to try to put some color on this. And her teeth are defined, but I don't want to define them too much because I always make pumpkin teeth. So we're just going to kind of hint at teeth in here for now. And then she's got the shadowing under the chin, under the lips. It's got some shadowing coming in here. Now, this cheek kind of comes down like that. You get all of this in here. This area here. Her chin comes down in here. I'm still exploring her. You see, I haven't done a lot to the nose. I'm afraid to do too much to the nose. That light there bothers me on her nose. That has to be the light source coming across her face. All right. So let's do this side of her face. Let's do her eye over here. Now it does come in line with this eye, but I don't think this area of her nose, let's shade this in a little more. This area on this photograph, this eye, the way she's tilting her head, this eye is much longer than the area between her eyes. And this eye is a little shorter than what I actually have it. Let's shorten this eye up a little, which will make her face a little more slender too. Let's shorten this eye up, because you can barely see the white there. And then this comes in there, and you see her face comes down this way. I've shortened it up maybe a half of an inch off of the edge of her face. Okay. And then she's got red rouge coming down this way, shadowing on her face this way, some shadowing coming in there. So this eyebrow, she's got that line there, and it comes out across up in here. Right in here. And then down like that. And her eyebrow itself it's not a heavy eyebrow, but you can see the shape of the eye, but she doesn't have a big bushy eyebrow. Okay, and then she's got some shading coming this way. Let's put her eyelid in here, her eyeball. And again, not too much shading in the corner of the eye here. And you have more white over this way. It might be too much. And I'm just playing. And I think I do tend to get a little bit more picky when I'm sketching with pencil, because I know I can erase. In the pens, when I'm sketching with ink, the mistakes that are there are there. They're just there, and I just deal with them. But when I'm sketching with ink, you'll see me pick up and erase and redo. And now, is that eye right? Yeah. Okay. Her forehead comes up this way. She's got that crease, a very light crease coming this way. And she's got that beautiful, beautiful white hair. It's kind of got it coming down. But let's do her neck here too. See, I'm trying to get her. And I wish her hand wasn't in the way. I really honestly do. See, she's got a lot of area. See, she's got her face really does end right about here. And all of this part of her head up in here behind her hand is the side of her face. And her face really, her cheekbone ends right there where her thumb is, which is just about in line with her eye. So all of this is in shadow here. And it may have been what I didn't get right on the... Now I'll soften this all out. It needs to be softened out. But I'm just kind of defining it here. She's got some... Let's go back to this eye. She's got a lot of lines underneath of her eye, which really kind of make it pretty. She's got two prominent lines there, one above the other. And then a line there and some little eye creases in here, going up that way. And then this is where I wish her hand wasn't in the way. Now what really makes her pretty is this hair, her beautiful wavy hair, her beautiful wavy hair. And it comes up that way, it comes this way. Yeah. Yeah. Now let's define her cheek, her chin area a little more, because she's got this neck area coming this way. All of this is in shadow. In underneath of her chin. And I'm not getting as much of her hair on as I did in the first sketch. And that's really the defining. And I wish I could see her hair better. It's really hard to see it. I think it curves around this way. Kind of comes that way. And then that may be a bit too much in there. And her face kind of comes that way. But now her eyes are really defined dark. And her lips will be, I'm going to put some color on her. But now her beads actually fall almost underneath of her lip in here. And let's just hopefully draw some beads in and let them, I could count each one, but I'm not going to. The beads necklace coming in here. Is she looking more like Margaret? Just her soft hair in there. Beautiful wavy hair coming this way. The shading going up that way, coming this way. And she's got some lines on her face coming in here. And I can't see, I have a feeling that that necklace goes up and her dress comes up over. Let's see, this hair must end right about where her nose does. And it kind of goes out like that. And our other hair comes down like this. And this is actually, that'll be all softened. I'm guessing at what's happening over here because I'm not putting that hand in. All right, let's continue with my little necklace here. Mm-hmm. And it falls way down. And that kind of helps define her more as, you know, her neck starts right in here. This is all neck area in here. And that's really a shadowed, kind of a light pinkish area And then she's got this beautiful floral dress on that I'm just kind of putting. And let's see. Yeah, I think I got it a little bit better. Maybe get rid of these. I'm not so sure about this because I think her face, her eyes kind of angle more like that. And I think I need a little more work there, but we will get there. And I really do think if I could see behind her hand, because this necklace comes way down. Let's see, let's finish drawing this. Her necklace comes in here. So we're just going to pretend, maybe. I don't have the patience to draw each one of those little beads. Think of the patience to define each one of those little pearls if you were doing a very photorealistic. It'd take hours to do it as photorealism. Let's see. I think something in here is bothering me. And I think it's how I've defined her cheekbone in here. Because her eyes... Maybe this is a little too wide. And then there's darky in there. And then this is all shady in. I'm still learning. I'm still learning. And then this kind of comes here, and she's got some laugh lines here that I can't see. I can't see this side of her face. I can't see that side of her face. That kind of bothers me. Her lips. Oh, dearie me. Oh, dearie me. Let's redo her lips. Oh, I see. That left line comes. A little more oomph and a little rounder, maybe. Not that round. Shading in here. Really shaded in here. Okay. Those poor pearls. I get tired of drying them. I get tired of drying each little pearl. That's a lot of pearls. Actually, I've messed them up already here. I messed up right in here. Yeah. There's just sketching. Something about this doesn't jive with me. Right in there. And then her neck comes out this way. So this is all shaded in. Yeah. We just keep trying, don't we? Now maybe I have this forehead a little high over here, so let's work with this. I don't think her forehead's quite that high. Now, I want to test, and I don't know how these are going to work on here. These are watercolor, and I thought they came out in sections. Maybe they don't. Yeah, I don't guess they do. They look like they're put in sections, so I can't see. I'm going to pull this red one out. What I really need is a swatch paper here. Let's swatch on here. Yeah, that's about the right color. Because once I put this on, it's on there. Not Margaret, Elizabeth. Once you got lipstick on, lady, you've got it on. And it kind of comes up this way and in this way. I don't want to give her too much. And her grin kind of comes out here. She says, be careful what you put on my lips. Don't make me look like a clown. There. I'm kind of liking that. And I don't know what color eyes she has, because they look like they're kind of a hazel brown. So let's see what I have in here. Maybe go for this color. Let's try this. That's a dark blue, purple. And the browns are over here. I'm kind of liking that. Now, I don't really have a fleshy flesh color, so I got to be careful what I do to her cheeks here. But she's got some pink right on the edge in here. And it kind of shades into the gray. Let's just see if we can't. I might mess this up. See, and since this is watercolor, I'm wondering if I can't take my brush and smooth it a little. Can it smooth? See, it doesn't seem to move much. Well, it might move a little. And I need my water. Not much. Not much. But maybe I can get that graphite moved into it. Yeah. It makes a pretty definite line, those water brushes. I've never used them before. They make a pretty definite line. I may be messing this up. Let's see what I can do here. this out. I don't like this, but I'm not sure I can change that. Unless I put some more, let's let that dry. I'll come back to that. Let's just shade all this in. Soften all of this out. So I don't like that. It's not too bad though. Whoops, I kicked my camera. Let's get some shading under her eyes here. Shading all up in here. See, I can't see this side of the face, and that kind of bothers me. It really, it's kind of light there, and the highlight runs right in there. Yeah. And I'm just playing. Poor Queen Elizabeth. Poor Queen Elizabeth. You don't want to get too much water on your cardstock paper because it will pill and pile. This is not a watercolor paper that I'm using. That, like this, and then put my brush into it, it gives me a softer, more manipulative. Manipulative. Say that 20 times, Meri. So let's just put a lot of water in here. I don't like to put a lot of water on this paper, but I do want some soft tones in here. Whoops. Now see, that's not going to move. That is in there. So this is as much learning how these pins work as learning, redoing my sketch here. And I think if I had a different type of paper, I do not have a coated paper here. See, it's soaking through. If I had a coated paper, C-O-A-T-E-D, coated, not a coated, a coated paper, I think that I would get a much better, because this paper tends to want to absorb. This is a very absorbent paper. So I'm just giving her some hints of color here. Maybe I should give her some hints of color under the eyes. That's probably where you want the lines, but and then her nose. This is all shady in. This area is all shaded in here. And I know I still have lots to do, lots to learn. Let's give her some water in there and just kind of lightly brush it in there. Okay, let's stop with that. I'm going to put this cap back on this. And let's go to, I know I need to do more. I know she's not done. She's not done. She's got more of a definition in here. But I want to go to the background. And I think I'll get me a little bit wider brush. I was using, I think I'll use this brush today. I was using my brush that came with my, I want to go to my graphite. Because what I was doing with my 6B yesterday was I was actually touching and painting like that, which is fun too. Makes it very dark. And that will help set off her face too. And here's where I get very painterly. Not so much sketching as painting with my graphite stick, which can be very fun. Yeah. But it can get a little messy too. You can go over it and add more. You know what I'd like to have? Probably would have to get out my watercolored pencils. Derwent to do her dress. But we're going to do it in, well, we could use the watercolor here. Let's finish the background. So we're going to finish the background in here. I'm still playing. I'm getting tired of working on her face and being so observant. See, this is not soft enough for me. Yeah, that's the way it goes when you're just practicing, Meri. You're just practicing. Yeah, I'm liking it. I am liking it. Let's leave that alone. Let's wash out my brush. Put my stick back. I got plenty of graphite to play with there. Had them for years. Haven't been using them. Oh, and that reminds me. Thursday at 10 p.m. Excuse me, scratch all of that. Thursday, February 21st at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Aunt Beck at Aunt Beck's Creations and Linda McAllister and Meri Abrams at the.meri.atelier are going to do a hangout. And we're just going to do a one-day project where we are using something in our stash that we hardly ever use. Now, I've already been using these graphites for these, so I will not be using my graphite sticks, but this would have been a perfect for it. I'll find something else. I got stuff I don't hardly use. So I might need to soften her face in here a little. But I'm going to go and add some more. Let's see. She's got a beautiful white dress with these soft flowers on it. Let's see. I'll never get these back in order. It's not really an orange. It's more of a creamy flower. That's orange. These are the grays and the tans. Can't see what's in here. I should just pull them all out to where I could see what they are. It's hard for me to see what's in here. I think this yellow might be the best. And maybe with a little gray of my graphite pencil. And I need some pinks. And I got this red out. Do I have a pinkish red? Here's a pink itself. All right. We're going to add some of these flowers in here. I'm going to start out with this is kind of the dress, edge of the dress in here. It looks like it might be a jeweled dress anyway. It's a very pretty fabric in there. I can tell that. It's not just a smooth cotton dress. And it's got these flowers. And I think if I just put some shadowing in here, and this is my 2B. Let's go to my 4B pencil. I have my 4B out here. Make it a little darker. Let's go to my 4B pencil. Let's just define some edges of flowers in here. In the same way with the pink. Capture that pink rose right down in there. She's holding a bouquet of flowers. But let's see if we can capture this rose. Or sort of. And it's got a line coming that way with a petal coming down this way, kind of shaded in. And one coming this way and this way. There goes my brother again, burping. The burp heard around the world. Yeah, like that. I tell him everybody in the world hears those burps. And I'm not going to edit them out. That's too much trouble. I mean, he burps, he's just going to get burped. There. And I'll bring that in that way, maybe, like that. Sort of this kind of comes down like this. And this kind of comes in like that. And that kind of comes down. That's good enough. Kind of a rose. And then there's another white one over here that just kind of looks like it's a bunch of circles to me. Going like this. And then there's kind of like a carnation flower up in here. It's kind of it's a big one. And then you go over on this side and you've got more of these little flowers like this over in here. But I'm not putting her hand in there. I'm not ready to, I'm still working on faces. I'm not ready to do hands yet. Hands, just too much for me to do on this page. I'll study the hand later. She's got kind of a shadow coming down on here. In here. And this dress actually falls in that way. More of these flowers. Yeah, up in there. Okay. So let's go with this yellow and see what happens here. I think I'm going to, actually, I think I'm going to dip it in the water. Is that what I want? I really want more of a creamy color, but you got to understand there's only so much color in one of these boxes. It's what, 18 colors? How many? 24. You don't get 16 million colors, so I'm just using what I have. There's no white. You have to invent your white with ink tints and grays maybe. But see, I'd like a white to tone down this yellow. The yellow's too yellow for me. Where's the cap? Maybe if I add a little shading, add a little water here. Use my larger brush. And here again, I'm just working on cardstock because that's what I cut. I did not cut watercolor paper this size. I probably should have. Now this is pink. Let's add some. I'm going to dip it in the water. They may not be the right thing to do, but let's add some pinks in here for her pink rose. I think I'm actually going to put pink in this flower too. And I could actually, let's go to my big graphite pencils again. And this one is a 2B. I don't think I have an HB. I have a 10B, a 4B. What's this one? A 12B, a 6B, and a 8B. 2B is the lightest as it gets. And that's pretty dark. Let's add some water in here. I find that if I put the water down first, it will not, when I put my stroke down, it will be a softer stroke. That's kind of what I want. That's kind of what I want. Now, I don't know if I want to touch her hair. I think I'll leave her hair alone. Here I go with the water. It's too much. Let's see, she's got a little more. I want a very, very soft. See, that's way too much. Very, very soft shading in here. Very, very soft under the eyes, around the nose. But see, this paper absorbs it so fast. And I'm sure a lot of my problem is the paper that I have here. I keep saying I want a coated paper to work on. Yeah. Well, now let's go in. Let's put that back in the, wash this out again. Let's go in and I'm going to grab that 2B. That's an HB. 8H, HB, HB. And you see I've hardly used it. That's my Ticonderosa. I want 4B, 2B. I'm going to actually dip my pencil in the water just a little. See, it'll make a nice dark line. And I'm just going to and I put that in a cap. I think I have more, but I'm less. Let's move that. See this here. Of course, now I'm just learning to use these. This side of her face is softer. That probably could be pink, more pink in there, and more pink under here, but I'm getting the hints of pink. But see, this is the first time I've used these flexible brushes from Hobby Lobby. They're a watercolor brush. They call it watercolor painting ink and wash writing. So I think they're more to play around with calligraphy. But in here, I just, it makes a very, and maybe that's why, because if they're calligraphy, you want a very defined line, or I would think you would. I'm darkening the eyelids here just to define it a little bit more. And maybe even darken her eyeballs in there a little more. Because her eyes are dark on this picture. And maybe underneath of her nostril, right in there. And very softly in here, in the corner of her mouth. Right along the edge of her mouth in there. Now, I think what I'll do is keep dipping this in and work on these pearls. The pearls are almost as important. And her teeth, I got to work on her teeth. It's like I'm afraid to touch her teeth. I am afraid, I think. Yeah. And I didn't count the number of pearls. I'm just putting little circles in there. I think I probably have more than she does. We'll just give you lots of pearls because you're the queen. You deserve lots of pearls. And actually, they disappear here. This flower is a little larger. They disappear underneath of the flower. I think I've done her a little better. She may not be perfect yet, but hey, I'm practicing. I'm practicing. And of course, here I'm just guessing up in this part here. I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing. I'm going to have to sharpen this pretty soon. I would prefer, and I might be able to find a mechanical pencil with water-soluble lead, because I don't like shaving the wood away on these. You waste more lead if you use a pencil sharpener, and so you want to save your lead, because these pencils are not, you pay a little money for them. I forget what I paid for these, $12 or something? It had the brush with it. About $2 a pencil. Why waste all the lead that comes with them? So if you want to sharpen them, you use an X-Acto knife, or not an X-Acto knife, a utility type knife to shave away the lead. Save as much, to shave away the wood to get to the lead. Yeah, I guess I'm getting happier with her. These pearls aren't perfect, but they're not meant to be perfect. I could get out my ink tints, but I can't get these soft colors with ink tints either. I'm liking that. Now let's go in, same technique, and maybe let's do some of this wave in her hair. Maybe in here just to define her hair a little bit more in here. Kind of highlights her. And I might be able to soften that a little. Soften these lines a little. Bring it out. In here. See, I lose, because she's got her hand over her face there. I lose what's happening in here. I'm just guessing. Let's soften this. I'm just guessing what's happening in there. Now let's soften this a little bit more in here. There. Now, she's got more shadow under here, and this is still my 2B. She's got shadow underneath of her neckline. And I should be working on more of a multimedia paper. I'm working on cardstock. That's awfully dark. Let's darken the, let's pull it up a little. Pull it in here a little more. Pull it down in there. Okay, one more thing I want to do, and that's, well, there should be more than one more thing. I need to work on her face a little bit more, but I've already gotten this wet. What have I done to the 4B? Here's the 4B. Now, just a very soft line in there. I'm happy with that. Now back to my 4B again. You have to be careful in here. She's got this little line coming down here. And shading in there. See, I lose her face in here. I know she's got some smile lines. These may not be as defined as what they should be. This line here's kind of lost its shading. See, to me, I know that's shading. I know that's shadow underneath there, but I can't help thinking that's a beard. Let's put some pink on it. I might make it worse. Let's just get it sopping wet. And let's shade some pink in there. That's too much. I think this might be more of a inky watercolor than a watercolor that actually moves. So once I put those lines down there, they're there. And this paper just absorbs the water. So even though I put a lot on there, it immediately absorbs it. That's too much, but there we go. Yep. I think I should probably quit while I'm ahead. What do you all think? Are you yelling at me? Stop, Meri, stop. Enough. Enough. And I'm going to dump my water. I'm going to dump my, no, it's still pretty good. We might want to sketch again tomorrow. Now I should probably have more. Ah! Got wet all over here. Where's my cap? There it is. I should probably have more, what was I thinking? More definition in there. Maybe I'll come back with my number 2 lead pencil and just put a little more definition in here. Maybe a little more definition in there. Tonal values are really interesting to work with. I think I'll quit on her. Let's go ahead and sign it. Find a signing pencil here. And today is February the 11th, 2019. And this is Queen Elizabeth II. And I'm at 92nd birthday. Not too bad. Not too bad. Now I could sketch her again probably and come back, and I still think I need her face to be a little more elderly. I'm afraid to make an elderly face. You know, I'm getting there though. Right in here maybe, and maybe just a little crunched in a little bit more. Maybe some more lines in her face. But you know what? I'm okay with it. Let's get that number 2 pencil out again. This one. Let's kind of give her lips a little, so it doesn't look so much like I've smeared lipstick on her, which is basically what I did there. You know, she has a definite dark shadow in here. She's got a definite dark shadow. She's got a definite dark shadow coming down this way. Definite shadow coming in here, forming her. Yeah. See, I'm a little bit afraid to draw all those lines. You know, her chin, this area is very wet. I can't touch that area very much. There's a definite white area coming in here. This is very wet. Let's dry it now. I'll find the heat. Yeah, I'm just working on cardstock, so you have to be pretty careful. You know, I was looking at her eye there. I think I got too much white in her eye in here. Too much white. Maybe too much white over in here too. All right, I'm going to leave it. Let's go in. Let's put my pencils away. Put my graphite sticks away. So I'll have them the next time I want them. This really could have been a art supply that I don't use very much, because I just broke it out here with the 29 faces. And let's put our pencils away. This is the 4B. 4B. I'm going to have to sharpen these. And this is a lead pencil. And it's another lead pencil. And this is the 2B. It goes in here. And my brush is still in there. Let's put our watercolor brushes away. I'm going to have to do more work with these. I think I'll pull them out, maybe paint me another box for a pen holder. I like how this snaps shut though. Should snap shut the other way. Yeah, holds them pretty good. All right, let's put these away. Whoops, I didn't get this one in. Where does it go? Over here? I'll put it over there. Let's put these away. Let's put that away. Let's put that away. All my markers and brushes. Okay, I want to put this in my journal. We'll just keep working on them. Keep working on faces. That's why we have 29 faces. Where did I put her? Put her over here. Look at the difference. Let's zoom out. Let's see if I improved any. Let's see if I've improved any. I'm not so sure that I did. Did I improve any on her? I added color. That was an improvement, but I'm not sure that I really improved on her facial features. This line is entirely too dark. I might have made her nose a little longer. Her nose is too wide. I think I added more shadowing in here. I do have shadowing in there, though. I have shadowing, but maybe just not enough. This is way too dark. That's because I didn't know those watercolor pens. I'm pretty happy with it. For what it is, let's go ahead and we'll staple her in. I guess I should show you the... Come on, flip. And I think her face, as I look at it, let's bring it up. Her face, I think I might have it a little too long. I'm not sure. Just takes lots of practice. All right, let's set that aside. Let's get my stapler out. I'm going to get a lot of staples on this page. It's okay. We're going to redo it here. Now I have to show you this. I want to talk about something before I leave. This is that double-sided tape that I put here. It's right there, but it is not holding this very well. It's holding this one pretty good. This is a stronger one. And then too, when I was pulling this tape, I don't know if I had it too long or what, but it tends to break in there. Let's put another piece of tape on here. So I'm not sure about this, even using this double-sided tape as for my words journal. We're going to try it and see. I don't get that words journal out enough, so I'm not flipping those pages as much as I do my this journal. So it might be just fine. Find the end here. Come on. Let's put another one on it. Just fold that back on itself so I can find it again, hopefully. There. So we're going to put this back in here. But it does not have a lot of stickum on it. And this is a pretty strong paper. That was a postage off of envelope, I think came from, I'm not sure where it came from. Was this Sherry Lynn's envelope, maybe? Okay, so there she is, my second try. Here is my first try. I'm getting there, I think. I might have to do her again. Then I did my little stamp, my little peg stamp, my little people, my little girl. And then I cut little paper dolls out here, just for the fun of it. So, thank you for watching. I've been going for 2 hours, spent 2 hours on all of this, probably most of the time there, but maybe half an hour, 45 minutes on doing this. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next page.